India's biodiversity thrives beyond forests in a mosaic of wetlands, open natural ecosystems and intertidal zones. Yet, only 5% of the country's land area is set aside for conservation. Vast landscapes that are rich in life could be simply wiped off since they have no legal protection. Who are the creatures who inhabit these liminal worlds, and how can we protect them better? In the ephemeral ponds of the eastern Himalayas, a prehistoric creature is in search of a mate. This amphibious species is the Himalayan salamander, locally known as the 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗏, which means a water lizard. Others refer to it endearingly as the 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗏 or a water dog.
So Darjeeling may be famous for the 3 T's, that's tea leaves, tourism and the toy trade. But perhaps one should also add an S to it, the Himalayan salamanders, India's only tailed amphibian species found in this particular water body, which is lying completely unprotected.
The first drops of the pre-monsoon showers herald the start of the breeding season. The rains nudge the males out of their slumber as they search for nearby water bodies and perhaps a mate. The waters can be permanent or temporary. They lie in forests or open areas, and they can range from large puddles to ponds. On a cloud-laden afternoon, I've joined 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗀, who's been mapping salamander habitats across Darjeeling. Of the 30 sites identified by her, only a handful are legally protected.
I belong to this place, but for a really long time I did not know about salamander. I think it should be a flagship species for Darjeeling. The tea, everybody knows about Darjeeling tea. It is world famous and everybody drinks it. But then salamander species, salamander is one species that is that really represents what Darjeeling is.
Subha's research will take her to sites at different elevations across the hilly district of Darjeeling. Meanwhile, the male has observed a female and sets out to impress her. We set our cameras closer to be able to witness this unique courtship behavior, but making sure we don't disturb them. The female eyes the approaching male with caution. The suitor swims around to impress her, while the other males attack and try to pull him back as they fight for dominance. Once there is a clear winner, the male advances forward and they begin their nuptial dance by swimming and moving in a clockwise position. As they use blades of grass to nudge each other. We have front row seats to this 30-minute ballet in nature. As both partners pirouette with fluidity, grace and control. The male salamander sniffs the female on her neck and fans water at her by curling and waving his tail. He then vibrates his tail, preparing for the grand finale. When the moment is right, the female gives one hard push and the male lies upside down in a submissive position over her. After a few seconds, the pair moves to the deeper end of the pond as their first celebratory swim together. Soon, they perch outside on small rocks to breathe and take some rest, and perhaps avoid interference from competing males. We are told this is the first time we've been able to capture the visual records of the Himalayan salamanders breeding. The dance of the salamanders has revealed many facets of the species that were unknown to science. They part ways as the female swims closer to the banks to lay her eggs, completing the cycle of life. Watching the waltz of the salamanders has been sheer poetry, but it also makes me realize the value of a good habitat, the presence of aquatic plants, the right weather conditions, and of course, the watery world of the lake. I leave the male and the female pair to celebrate their conjugal bliss. Beyond this lake, there have been massive changes to the Himalayan wetlands, leading to falls in population numbers. Rampant construction has led to the drying up of many ponds where the salamanders were once found. Pesticide runoff from the tea estate ends up polluting the habitat. But one tea estate is looking to turn the tide. Margaret's Hope has set aside an undisturbed patch of land for the salamanders.
Can anybody come in?
Manager 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗀 takes a personal interest in these creatures and all others that are great and small.
When I actually saw it in front of me and it started swimming towards me, I wanted to pick it up, but yet I was scared, like I shouldn't touch it. Then I just crouched with the umbrella, and it was raining heavily. And there came one, then I saw the other one coming in, and saw around 10, 15 of them they literally swam towards me as if to greet me. So it was so exciting. With the garden, the lake came, so automatically it is our responsibility. So we want to look after it. Not only this place, we want to look after our forest. The spraying or whatever work we do, we ensure we don't come near to the lake.
The tea estate provides a proxy protection to the salamanders and takes great pride in doing so. It stands as an excellent lesson in protecting wild species on private land as a shared landscape for humans and wildlife. Our next stop is a soccer field, a rather unusual sight for the salamanders. Here, the West Bengal Forest Department, along with concerned citizens, decided to build a fence around a small water body to protect the sleeping salamanders.
So this is what makes conservation of a species so complex. Imagine a species found on the edge of a football field. There's a school above me. This is the football field, and quite often when the children are playing, the football would go into the area where the salamanders are found, posing a threat. And that's why the Forest Department has put up this chain link mesh over here. There's a second threat to the salamanders, which is the drainage from the town. All the water that is flowing out here. Now, if that gets mixed with the waters in which the salamanders breed, then that can cause a problem. So which is why the Forest Department here along with involvement from the citizens, has segregated the water. So we have the drainage from the city on one end, and then we have the water around here, which is then safe for the species.
Nature enthusiast 𝗹𝗆𝗀𝗀 looked at ways to inspire students to feel for the 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀. He's been organizing a yearly salamander festival along with photo exhibitions and lectures by scientists.
When we were kids, we used to play with salamanders like they were toys. Then in college, we realized this is an endangered species. We set up an organization to generate awareness for its protection.
The advocacy had its impact. Today, the salamanders have a protected space, and the local school can boast of conserving a species that makes them proud of protecting their natural heritage. My last stop is a roadside dhaba where I meet the owner 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗁𝗀𝗃. Close to him is the nearest wetland of 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗁𝗀. It may have shrunk in size, but it's still a haven for wild species. The pond symbolizes best the threats to the salamanders and the shrinking spaces in which they find themselves caught between tea and tourism. As Tamang attends to a steady flow of tourists from the plains, we notice his shop is adorned with posters of the beloved salamanders. It occupies pride of place, reminding tourists that the salamanders are integral to this land's identity, just like tea or the toy train.
There is Kanchenjunga, there is tea, and then there is the toy train. Just like that, there is the Himalayan salamander. That's also special.
Excessive tourism is killing the beauty of Darjeeling, and the same tourism could be a threat to salamanders as well.
This may appear just like a ditch, but actually it's teeming with biodiversity. So all these white blobs floating here are actually amphibian eggs. And if you can see there, people have thrown plastic over here. There's a can over there.
One of the objectives of my study is to bring all these things together and then work with the community, the stakeholders, the policymakers, and also the forest department, and make a concrete plan for the conservation of salamanders.
Her work with the salamanders has shown us that wildlife can be protected outside of our forests. What they need is the support of a few individuals and legal support so that the water dragons of Darjeeling are preserved for posterity. From the hills of Darjeeling, I am now headed to an extreme end of India, Gujarat, where new stories are unfolding in another liminal world.
I'm cruising along the coast of Gujarat, and I'm on my way to a very special place that exists between land and sea. The dance of the high tide and the low tide unravels an ecosystem known as the intertidal zone, revealing an astonishing diversity. In this liminal world, you'll find thousands of other species that are yet to be discovered by science.
I've been promised a feast of the natural world by scientist 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗀𝗀 Patel, who has been documenting the coastal biodiversity here for years. And that includes carpet sea anemones, zooanthus, sea slugs, starfish, and marine algae, glowing like rubies and emeralds, adorning Mother Nature's crown. But to meet these shimmering creatures, we must first learn to walk on the sharp rocks, sidestep tidal pools. It's truly like walking on eggshells. In a matter of minutes, the sheer diversity of this liminal world is revealed. A wolf crab, neatly camouflaged, can only be seen by a trained eye. A starfish feeds on its morning breakfast, neatly with its lace-like hands. A porcelain crab looks out at us from shallow rock pools, its beady eyes watching us nervously, even as carpets of vibrant marine invertebrates line the black rocks. I am mesmerized. As we walk around clumsily with Patel, every stone, every corner reveals a new form of life. But even in this diverse world, the threats are looming large.
So we are seeing a live coral and dead coral. There's a 𝗪𝗂𝗃 species of coral. So if you can see underwater, where is the underwater line is there, you can see the polyps which is coming out from the coral itself. Whether here nothing is there. Or the brown color is because of the algae. So coral have different type of colors. So it's a classic example of having a symbiotic relationship between the plant and the animal.
So this tiny piece of coral that you see in my hand is actually a dead coral. And it perhaps symbolizes what's happening to marine life across the world. We are seeing a bleaching of corals due to rising temperatures in our seas and our oceans. And why should it matter that we have dead coral? Because live corals are breeding grounds for the fish, and they support a lot of marine biodiversity. Dead corals means there's going to be a crash in all the diversity of the species that we're seeing around here.
In addition to climate change, there are other threats. The rocky pools are frequented by tourists every day.
The main threat of this habitat is the lack of education in general public, I must say. Because when public are coming over here, when the tourists coming over here, because it's a tourist place, so the tourists didn't know that what should we do. Our main threat to this reef is not about the pollution or oil pollution or some chemical pollution. It's pollution of microplastic. That's the main thing, because we are having all the plastic waste over here, and then it will be cut down in small pieces, and it is stored in the fish and all the creatures' belly, and that's the main problem, microplastics. One need to do is only one point should be entry over here, and that particular entry gate, the bags of all the tourists thoroughly checked, and if you have the bottle, plastic bottle, then they will just say that you have to deposit over here.
Perhaps the most fascinating creatures of this world are the sea slugs. These are basically like snails without their shells.
So it's Valentine's Day for these sea slugs. We can see over here two slugs in love, and this one's moving here. And if you can see here, this spaghetti string-like structure, this has the eggs. And basically you'll find these sea slugs in tide pools such as these. And what the scientists are telling us is if you can see the sea slugs, that means that this is a healthy ecosystem. Bhavik, what have we found here?
So we found a dorid kind of sea slug over here, which is a white in color. So
Yeah.
dorid kind of sea slugs are mainly feed on the sponges, and we have the flatworm over there.
So it's like virtually like a tropical rainforest
Yes.
under the water, because every little half a second the water's moved and taken on a new shape. So imagine you're on a wildlife safari and you're seeing, say, a tiger, then you're seeing a jackal, then you're seeing a sambar deer.
Yes.
And here under the water also nothing is ever still. There's constantly new creatures.
Yes,
waiting
new
to be
creatures,
discovered.
and we have like quite a diversity in just 1 square meter of area.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how the diversity on the larger scale in this reef especially.
Patel has been able to document more than 90 species of slugs along the coast of Gujarat. Back at his research base, Patel starts the process of listing the species under the correct nomenclature.
What we're seeing right now in this petri dish is a flatworm, and she's swishing around like a lady in an orange dress and with a lovely blue outline.
He must work fast, as every creature collected has to be released soon. Under the light of the innovative contraptions developed by Patel, he is able to accurately identify species, note their behavior, all of which will be useful nuggets for science. Research over, it's time to head back to the intertidal zone. This time, we meet young women from the local community who come with buckets to collect shells.
Let me show you their haul for today. This is almost like wild foraging. So these are called as turbo shells, and what they'll do is they'll remove the insides and cook that. And this round object, it's called as the 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗁𝗀. This is often used as jewelry or ornaments, as rings. So it also gets them an additional income. Now the problem is that it's a completely unregulated trade. How much is being taken from these tide pools, and is it sustainable or not? That has not been examined.
I leave this liminal world, my eyes dazzled by the life forms and colors we've seen in the past few days. My brief interaction with them, a gentle reminder that biodiversity exists not just in the protective forests or the deep sea, but in all kinds of unlikely places. And the inhabitants of this world too are in desperate need of protection.